traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Focus. I hope you've all had a good week in the markets. In today's video, what we're going to do is always go over the opportunities that could be setting up in the FX markets for the week ahead. Now, before we go any further, I'd just like to start off by taking this opportunity to thank everybody for this great half year that we've had with the Forex Focus. There's been a lot of interaction there. We've been getting a lot of emails, and it seems that a lot of you are watching this on a weekly basis, and it's really become part of your routine. So, thank you very much for watching it, and thank you very much for obviously making it worth it for us to record it. I'd also like to tell you that this is going to be the last one for a couple of weeks because we're going on holiday for a few weeks now. So there won't be an opportunity for me to be able to get in front of the camera here and post it up for you. Or I may try and do it, but it will only be with a few charts every now and then, as opposed to the setup that we have here. So bear with me if we can't get it out of the internet connection where we're going isn't as great as it could be. Then this will be the last one for the next couple of weeks. Okay, but without further ado, let's now jump over to the charts and see what could be setting up in the FX markets. So to begin with, we still have the pound New Zealand and New Zealand dollar that we were looking at last week. The Aussie dollar triggered last week and was a nice little trade there for us. So that's now off of the table. But we still have the pound New Zealand and New Zealand dollar because that hasn't triggered yet. And that's very much the same story as last week. So we've got a big structure here, structure level on the pound New Zealand that we're waiting for it to come back to. It did start some of that last week. So as you can see, last week on the weekly charts, we had a bit of a down week. Unfortunately, it closed. It was much more negative at one point in the week, but it closed a fair bit further up the candle than where it was at one point in the week. But that's not a problem. At least it was there at one point in the week, and it looks like it will be pulling back for us. Remember, location is the key when we're trading, right? We don't want to be just trading anywhere in the charts. That's where a lot of new traders, a lot of struggling traders, that's where they go wrong. For those of you that have been on some of our live trading sessions together, you will have noted that that's one of the biggest things that's ensured that we're profitable, is that we take trades from locations that make sense. We don't just sit there and take trades anywhere on the chart because we feel like we've got some good price action. Where you're taking the trade from is so very important. So we have to wait for the trade to come to us. And by that, we need to wait for the trade to drop down to 2.2203 roughly before we look to start entertaining a trade on the pound New Zealand. Same goes for the New Zealand dollar. So for the New Zealand dollar now, we can see that it's broken through the structure level at 0.7152. We're now waiting for it to come back to this level here. And if we get a nice pullback to that level, stop moving that there. If we get a nice pullback to that level, then we'll certainly be looking to take a short from this level here. It'll be a nice one because we've got a nice momentum move to the downside. A pullback here would represent somewhere close to the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. So it will be a very, very harmonic price action. The only thing we don't want now is we don't want the market to start moving sideways, because if that starts moving sideways, then it just completely it screws up the pattern, to be honest with you, and it's just not something that we'll be looking to take. So we've got to wait to see what happens there, but ideally we want to see the market pull back to this sort of level here. Then we have the New Zealand yen. Now the New Zealand yen's an interesting one in that it's broken through a structure level to the left here. It will only be a short-term one, because if we do get the pullback to this structure level, which is at 84 spot 0009 even. If we do get a pullback to that level there, we'll be taking a short-term trade either on the hourly or the 4-hourly chart. And ultimately, this is a trade just to exploit this momentum that we have here, the short-term momentum that we have to the downside. It's not something that we're going to look to hold for a long while, because once we get into that trade, we're then going to be trading into a structure level about 100 or so points lower than where we are right now at 81.37. So we'll be getting in there at 84.0984.11, and then we'll be looking to take it for sort of 200 to 300 pips, and that will be it. So it'll be a short-term trade, but we're looking to exploit the momentum to the downside. So as we can see here on the 4-hour chart, we've had a little burst down there. On the daily chart, you can also see it as well. But on the weekly chart, we will be trading in to a larger level. So that's why we'll be treating it as a much shorter term trade. Then finally, we have the CAD yen. Now the CAD yen, as you can see here, is already pulled back. So this one's almost ready to go. If we get the price action that we're looking for here on the 4-hour chart, we'll be taking it from this level here. If it continues to move higher, then the level we'll be looking to be our last barrier to entry, if you like, is the 97.57. If the market can't hold that level, then ultimately this trade will be off the table. We won't be looking at it anymore. But we're within that value zone at the moment where we're looking to take the trade from. So hopefully the market can pull back to this level here and it can give us some nice price action like a 1, 2, 3 reversal, or some sort of a candlestick reversal pattern, whichever one it is that you like to trade. Obviously what we're doing here is just giving you a nice overview of what we're looking at in the markets. As far as entries are concerned, you have to pick the best one for yourself, but we'd be looking for sort of like a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern or a shooting star when we get up to the top here. Okay, so that wraps up this week's Forex Focus. As I said to you at the beginning of the show, this is going to be the last one for a couple of weeks potentially. It really depends on what the internet connection is like for where we're going. If the internet connection is decent, and I'm able to get the uploads, relatively quickly, then I'll put up, our thoughts on the markets next week and the week after. However, if the internet connection isn't as great as it could be and it starts to prove a bit of an issue, then unfortunately this will be the last one for the next couple of weeks. Okay, but thank you again everybody for watching the Forex Focuses this year. It seems like it's been a huge success. A lot of you are getting a lot of value, a lot of education out of it, which is exactly the point of these videos here. It's just to show you what we're doing with our own accounts, how we're trading our own accounts, and it's nice to see that it's become a part of your Sunday routine. So thank you very much everybody for watching, and if we don't put one out next week or the week after, we will be back in a couple of weeks with more Forex Focuses. Thank you very much for watching, and until then, good trading and enjoy part of your summer.